It is not with our mandate. They do not have our mandate that they did what they did. That is number one. Number two, they did that, as far as we are concerned, out of their own selfish interest, because they did not carry people along. Like I said, my association, the Northern Consensus Movement, is an affiliation of socio-cultural and community-based as well as economically inclined. So many associations, the AREWA Traders Association, Market Traders Association, Amalgamated Cattle Dealers Association, Kekena Pep Riders Association, over 500 of these associations that come together to form the Northern Consensus Movement. And if we have such magnitude of number being affiliated and part of the Northern Consensus Movement, and you are doing anything that has to do with North, all these associations are Northern, and at the community level, the lowest level, and you are doing anything that has to do with the North, and you think you cannot carry this kind of body along, I think unless if you are doing it for yourself, me, myself, and my family, or me, myself, and my friends, otherwise you needed to carry this kind of body along. Now, that's number one. Number two, it is a well-known fact that the Northern Consensus Movement has done so many things in the name of Northern Nigeria for the protection of right, liberty, lives, and property of Northerners in the North and outside Northern Nigeria. You will recall that the Northern Consensus Movement collaborated with other associations as affiliated and organized the no food supply to the south, southwest, and southeastern part of Nigeria. Why did we do that? We did that because Northerners were being killed, Northerners' property were being destroyed, Northerners' properties were being cajoled by the non-Northern Nigeria outside the North. And we said we disagree with that. The same thing goes when we had the Shasha Akinyele market killings during the hashtags NSAS and so many others, the IPOB issue, the Ganyu Sunday Ogoho issues, and the rest. We had several situations where we had to go disagree. We write to the government across the 19 northern states, the governors, the speakers, the first-class emirs, the president, all former president of northern extraction, the Senate president, all security agencies, the president himself, the United Nations, US, UK, and mention them, all in the name of the protection of North and Northerners. Tell me, out of these 5 associations that come together to call themselves AREWA Committee, which of them have ever raised a voice, either as an association or even as individual, raise a voice against the destructions of lives and property of Northerners within North or outside Northern Nigeria? What action have they taken? What did they do in the interests of North for North and for Northerners? If you ask me, I would say none. But when it is time to organize things that are jamboree in nature, things that are show in nature, that is where you find them showing their face, and that is where they make themselves to be seen as leaders. Right, like everybody knows. I said I have over 500. I stand to be challenged anywhere, any day, anytime to present these over 500 associations, their certificate and their leaders. I am challenging them equally from the ACF itself to start with. I am also a member of ACF, but I'm not aware. For every meeting of ACF, I receive a text message, I attend the meeting of the ACF, and I participate fully. But for this one, I saw that ACF is part of it, but I was not informed, I was not aware. And it was not too long when we held a National Executive Meeting of ACF, and it was not mentioned there. That is one. Talk about the Northern Elders Forum. How many people are in the Northern Elders Forum? So who is deceiving who? How many people are in the Northern Elders Forum? And then going back to research and development, how many people are in the research and development initiative there? If you go all through, you will discover that it is a group of people, or the Matan Arewas themselves. How many are there? The Matan Arewa Association is just within Kaduna alone. Does it exceed Kaduna? It's a group of women. Fine. It is even good that they are involving the women. But then, how can you, when you have over 10,000, 17,000 associations, you have student associations, you have so many other associations, and you did not involve anybody, you went just a group of 6, and in that group of 6, let's say group of 5 or 6 associations that come together, that if you number all of them, all the 5 or 6 associations put together are not more than 100, and then you are coming to come up with an issue that has to do with North, you did not consult all other northern bodies that you know that fight and speak for North and on behalf of North, that they have been doing what you have not been doing. But when it comes to the issue of, like I said, jamboree, that is when you now take the front line. That is on one aspect. On the other aspect, you are doing things like this. And under normal circumstances, are you supposed to call this presidential candidate for them to tell you what they intend to do for you in the North? Or you are supposed to call them and tell them this is what we need in the North? Read through, agree, make a pronouncement, and let's sign an agreement publicly before the world that you have agreed to the terms and conditions of North and Northerners. If you want North and Northern vote, if you want to be elected by Northerners, Northerners are presenting to you the Northern agenda. This is our agenda. This is what we need. This is what the Northerners want. This is what we are expecting from you if you become a leader. If you agree, you sign publicly. All the representatives sign. We agree that there is a pact between the North and a presidential candidate A, presidential candidate B, presidential candidate C, and all the 18 presidential candidates. We all agree that if you are voted into power, this is the Northern agenda and you pursue it diligently. This is what is expected. But what was done there was a jamboree show, was a political jamboree show, was a show that some people want to see, make themselves to be seen as leaders or as heroes, which as far as we are concerned, they are not. And I can tell you now and here that we will do the right thing, because what was done as far as we are concerned, the initiative was a good one, but it was wrongly done. So we will initiate a better way of doing this. We will be presenting a Northern agenda before this presidential candidate, not the presidential candidate coming to tell us they will do this or they will do that. At the worst of it, none of them has mentioned more than 5-6 things that is going to do for North. Is that the only thing we need in North? And is that the right way to do it? Each of the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria, if they are calling a presidential candidate, they are calling him under an agenda. This is the agenda of our zone under the project Nigeria, and we expect you or the group of you presidential candidates to sign a pact with us and agree that this is what our region needs if you become a president. Whether you like it or not, the politics is a game of number. And the Northern Nigeria is known to have the number that decide who becomes Nigeria's president. And how can we allow some few group of people, individuals, to tour with our future just for their own interest? Because what they did is not in the interest of North. Nothing that has been done, like I said, the initiative is a good one, but implementation was bad. It was totally wrong. That was not the way it was supposed to be done. So in a short while from now, we will be coming together as a group involving virtually almost all as virtual or non-associations, Northern fighters, the true Northern fighters, those that stood and struggled for the interests of North and Northerners. We will be coming together to re-invite this presidential candidate, all of them this time around, the 18 of them, and present to them a Northern agenda that will be signed publicly before Northerners, before Nigeria, before the world. And they will also agree that the Northern agenda is what they will pursue strictly if they become president for North and on behalf of Northerners. That we will be doing shortly. But like I said, for now, what was done was just a show, jamboree show, just some group of people wanted to show themselves as leaders. Well, they did what they did, but as far as we are concerned, what they did is not good enough. In fact, it is nothing good as far as we are concerned. So we will do the right thing at the right time, and that will be done shortly by the grace of God.